Hey, how's everybody doing today? This is Mark Brody with Brohawk Solutions, and today I have with me Jana Berton with TriStar Staffing Services. Jana, thank you very much for coming to Coffee Talk with Brohawk, and love having you here. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and what you do with TriStar.
Sure. Well, first, let's acknowledge St. Patrick's Day with you and I both being former New Englanders and living up in Boston. We know this is a big day for those folks up there. So
Big time.
You're wearing your green. I'm wearing my shade of green. So happy St. Patty's, everybody.
The only thing we're missing, Jana, is like we were talking about before, some Dropkick Murphys or something, you know?
Absolutely. Yep. Some beef habit, Dropkick Murphys.
I won't tell you what's in this coffee, just saying.
Good for you.
Excellent.
Talk somewhere, right?
There you go. There you go.
So a little bit about me. As you mentioned, I'm the general manager at TriStar. TriStar is a staffing and recruiting firm that's been around for 30 years. I'm a mom of two very strong, happy little girls, Riley and Ella. They are my world. And from a career perspective, I have been in a revenue driving role with technology companies my entire career. And starting in Boston and eventually working with clients and people from coast to coast. And I have found through that I love bringing people and technology together, which is why I love my role at TriStar. I mentioned earlier, TriStar is a 30-year-old staffing company. They've been finding awesome people for awesome clients for a long time. But since I've come on board, we have augmented that reputation and that proven track record with investments in technology and data and AI. And this combination of bringing people and technology together, this history of success that TriStar's had, this 30-year network of candidates and clients, and combining that with digital sourcing and artificial intelligence and all the things that data can tell us, has truly been able to help us bring to market a service for our clients that's just really unmatched. We're able to find strong candidates at scale with velocity, leveraging technology. We're able to vet them thoroughly with our human intelligence and our personal touch. And it's just been a lot of fun. You know, with our candidates, we're having career conversations, not job talks. It's a
when you can progress somebody from not focusing on a job, but more to a career and then to a calling, then you've hit the the height of where people want to be, as opposed to where they have to be, for the moment. So what are some of the challenges with human capital management? And I'll use that term, but we know it's staffing. But in human, what challenges with human capital management are clients and prospective clients discussing with you these days?
Yes, that's a great question. Before I address the challenges on the client side, I want to address something you just mentioned on the candidate side. Because very much a staffing company's business is two-part, right? It's the candidate and it's the client. Mm-hmm. And on the candidate side of things, being in the position that TriStar is in, and then any staffing company has the opportunity to be in, we are really that on-ramp for candidates that maybe don't have the resources mm-hmm. that a lot of people do to help them, get on to a career and into a career track. That has been one of the most rewarding parts of this job, no doubt. And then, of course, there are the candidates that have lots of opportunities and lots of resources that just need help vetting and figuring mm-hmm. out the right one for them. But let me address the client side of that and some of the challenges with human capital management with our clients and prospects and what we're hearing. Clients want to find really good people. They want the best of the best. And they're finding that it takes a lot of time just sorting through all those needles in the haystack just to get to that short list of 5 or 8 candidates that you actually want to bring in and talk to. Because there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of job seekers out there. There's a lot of talent out there. And so companies are realizing that there's a lot more of an effort and a time consumption to just sourcing and finding people just to start those preliminary conversations now more than ever.
Now, are you seeing, and I like where you started this discussion talking about the candidate side as well. Are you finding candidates that are coming to you saying, look, I saw this posting for XYZ company, but is this company really the right one for me? And are those types of conversations happening as well?
They are. Our recruiters are starting those conversations. They want to understand when a candidate calls in what the candidate's looking for right now. Where are they interviewing? What types of positions are they interviewing for? Because that helps us get an idea of where they are in their due diligence journey of figuring out where they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And sometimes a candidate needs that type of level set discussion just so that they can understand that, hey, I can take a little bit of a step back to make a better long-term choice.
And down in San Antonio, where you're located, where your main office is located, you have about a 5% saturation rate for contact center employees, contact center type of work. So, I mean, really, you're looking at 5% of the San Antonio population is working in the contact center world, and so, there's a lot of opportunities that I'm sure people are looking for, and it's not just where they land today, it's where they're going to land in the future, I'm sure, as well.
No doubt.
Yeah. So a company looking to bring on somebody for human capital as a human capital management partner, what advice would you give to them in vetting the right partner, such as TriStar, or what do you guys bring to the table, and what's really your differentiator? I know I packed a lot into that question, but
I love that question, though. There's a lot of folks out there that see staffing and staffing companies as a commodity, and it's really up to us to differentiate ourselves. I was actually coaching a prospective client yesterday who has been on a retained search with another staffing company for several months, looking for a psychiatrist for their practice. And I was challenging him a little bit because he's not getting the results and he's paying a service fee every month. And I challenge him, and I challenge any client out there looking for a good staffing partner to truly understand how your company and how your staffing partner is finding candidates. If they're using the same job boards that you're using, that's not a whole lot of differentiated value for you, right? You need a staffing partner that's going to bring you candidates that you don't already have access to. But you also want a staffing company to bring you candidates that they've vetted and qualified to some level before sending to you, because that time management piece, that part that we can save on the front end, especially for those internal HR team members, is where a lot of that value comes into play.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, really understanding the value and the match between the company and the selected partner. I think that's huge. When companies just look at what I would call spaghetti recruiting, hey, let's bring in a bunch of people and see how many of them stick. That's you're getting yourself to the wrong place. That creates a culture that, in my opinion, it's not sustainable. So
you're absolutely right. And you mentioned contact centers a second ago, and that is near and dear to our heart. We've been working with some of the major contact centers here in Southern and Central Texas for over 20 years. But that's high volume recruiting. A lot of these call centers are looking for people sometimes seasonally and in peaks and valleys, sometimes a lot at once. And a lot of these folks are experiencing a lot of turnover. And that has a lot to do with the recruiting on the front end and how you're qualifying and vetting your client service and contact center reps before sending them over to your client.
Are you seeing that, and specifically in the contact center space, are you seeing people more interested in the quality of the candidates that you're bringing in, or the quantity of the candidates that you're bringing in?
A word that we're hearing a lot is reliability of the candidates that we're bringing in.
There you go.
Absolutely quality, absolutely quantity. Quantity and speed are things that clients are always going to look for. But right now, with some of these kind of volume positions where there has been, especially recently, a lot of turnover, it's the reliability of it. So we actually have implemented a process early on in our recruiting efforts when we are recruiting for contact center reps to test that reliability and to put a little bit of ownership on them earlier on in the recruiting process to see if they can deliver for us. Because if they deliver for us and do what they tell us they're going to do, then the chances are they're going to do that for our client.
Oh, I love that approach. I love that thought process. You know, obviously I'm a Gen Xer. You know, I'm assuming that you're a millennial, just saying. But you know, it's interesting. You know, that over the years, the reliability factor, you know, has kind of softened or weakened over the years. I mean, when I started off in contact centers 30 years ago, you know, you know, you wanted to find a company and work for them for your career. 40 years ago, you know, it was that. Now, you know, we're just not seeing that from folks that are coming to work. And you know, I guess half the battle for y'all is just getting them to show up to the interview. You know, so yeah. So in discussions that you may have had with clients and you know, prospects also, what are some of the challenges that are difficult to solve for them?
It's a little across the board depending on the size of our clients right now. Size, it matters more than ever right now. Okay. Because it's not a one size fits all when it comes to recruiting and staffing, especially not anymore. And so what I'm seeing clients struggle with is they all have different needs and different gaps to fill along the hiring, recruiting, and onboarding process. So it's not a one staffing company fits all anymore for clients. I think one of the biggest challenges for clients is getting an understanding and really getting a control over the expense that comes to recruiting and hiring and onboarding, and figuring out truly where their gaps are and where they need that partnership to fill those gaps. Yeah. For example, we have clients that have great interviewing teams. They have technical interviewing teams. They're able to interview very, very quickly and very well. But they don't have the power to source and to go through those thousands and hundreds of resumes to find those 10s that they want to interview, right? That's a need for one client. That might not be a need for another client. Another client may have that down, but now they need help technically vetting their candidates because they don't have any skill sets internally to help them do that. Okay. So one of the challenges is just identifying and having the business maturity to recognize that you might not have the end-to-end process down for recruiting and finding a partner that can fill the gaps that you do have.
I love that. You know, figuring out where you as a solution provider, and that really becomes more of the role for staffing partners, human capital management partners these days is you become that solution provider that helps them fill in that gap wherever those gaps are. I love that approach. It makes a lot of sense. You know, I've seen some companies that I've spoken with over especially the past year or so, that say, look, you know, we get the recruiting piece. We don't need to bring in somebody, and you know, or we get the sourcing piece, and you know, it's not really a match to bring in a partner with us. But when you dig deeper into what the root cause of their problems, sometimes it's culture. You know, when you know, companies have said, look, we've tried XYZ partner and you know, ABC partner, and they're just not doing what we expect of them. Do you sometimes see the expectations not matching a candidate's expectation once they get in the door? Are you seeing some of that too?
Oh, absolutely. That is one of the biggest stigmas that we have to work through as a staffing company, because there are a lot of spaghetti type approaches out there, where it's twofold, right? A lot of, you get feedback from candidates that recruiters don't really care. They're not really listening to them. They're just sending them out to whatever job they have open at the time. And then you hear from clients that my recruiters aren't listening to me. They're sending me people that don't have all the qualifications I need. They're sending me people that are way over the pay rate I want to pay. So there is absolutely an opportunity to streamline communication and have tighter communication and exceed expectations just truly by listening. If clients can give an agency the time to share with us what their true, identify their true issues, their true gaps in hiring, their vision, where they want to take the company. If we could truly get to know a company's business and their process, then we can truly start to add value that align to exactly what their expectations are. But until you can have that dialogue, and if you're just a vendor for a client sending a body, sending a resume, it's always going to be missed more than it's a hit, right? And you're not going to have that true alignment, and it's not going to be a long-standing partnership, and there's going to be missed expectations and frustrations across the board.
Oh man, very well put. It's all a matter of aligning expectations on both sides of the equation. And your hope, obviously, as a partner to your clients, is to go ahead and get that long-term win where you've found somebody that needs and wants an amazing opportunity, and you can match them up with the perfect company for them where they can really grow as a professional and as a person in a lot of cases as well. So I love the work that y'all are doing. So let's go to the speed round now. Are you ready, Jana?
All right, I think so.
Excellent. So what fact about you would people be surprised to learn?
I am, well, ironically, since this is a podcast, I'm a podcast junkie. I listen to everything from TED Talks to true crime. So I'm listening to podcasts whenever I'm working out or whenever I'm on the road. I love them.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'll probably listen to this one.
Hey, please do. These are going to be posted on LinkedIn and on my webpage, brohawksolutions.com. So what is your ideal off the grid location? And knowing that you used to be a New Englander, I'm sure you got a little beach in you as well. So what is your ideal off the grid location?
My ideal off the grid location would be a little island called Lanai in Hawaii. It is a small Hawaiian island. So you have all the beautiful aspects of Hawaii, but it's quiet and there's not much going on. And it's a little more secluded. Nice.
Anytime you can add beach into the equation and like umbrella drinks or whatever, it's a win.
Yep. Now you're speaking my language. I am totally picking up what you're putting down. I love the beach.
Excellent. So you a baseball fan?
I am a baseball fan. I mean, I had to be, being in Boston for so long.
Yes. So what would your walk-up song be?
Well, going back to those New England roots, probably Crazy Train by Ozzy, which is more of a New England Patriots thing, but I guess I could do Sweet Caroline too for the Red Sox, but Crazy Train.
I love it.
Especially the first 30 seconds.
It gets you pumped up and kind of gets the energy level up.
It sure does.
Yeah, I used to listen to some Eminem right before I went into client meetings, because it just gets you in that mindset. So, if someone wants to learn more about TriStar, where should they go ahead and start?
Well, we make that very easy. One of the things that we like to do is remove barriers and make it easier to work with us and communicate with us. So you all online. Clients can go to our website and they can do everything from look at candidates to send us a quick note on exactly what they're looking for us to get back to them. If you're a candidate, go to firsttowork.com and submit your information. And one of our recruiters will call. If we don't have a position open currently, it gives us an opportunity to learn about where you've been, where you want to go, and keep you in mind when we do have something pops up that aligns to your experiences. So just
and
TristarGroup.com.
Hey, there you go. And you're not just recruiting for entry level positions. You're recruiting, you're looking to place people in all levels of positions as well, correct?
That's absolutely right. I'm actually glad you brought that up. So TriStar has 3 divisions. Each division has our own set of recruiting teams. That's very important. Recruiters need to understand the industry, and they need to have candidate pipelines that they're cultivating regularly in those industries. So we really focus on the contact center, call center. That's our personnel side. We also have an IT division where we are doing a lot of developer, a lot of architecture, a lot of DevOps positions. We're working with a lot of pre-IPO technology companies that are growing their engineering teams by 10, 20 at a time. And then our 3rd division is our skilled industrial and our light industrial division. And that's where we're working with a lot of the local San Antonio, Southern Texas manufacturing facilities.
There's a lot of companies that are moving into Texas these days.
There are.
Come on down. We'd love to see them, right?
They got a little worried with the snowstorm, but I've told everybody it was an absolute fluke. It doesn't happen that often, but come on down. Water's warm.
Exactly. It's a beautiful, and the couple days of clouds and rain, will never overshadow the 300 days of sunshine we get here. So
absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Jana, thank you very much for taking the time out of your schedule to chat with me. I really appreciate it. And again, TristarGroup.com.
You got it. Thank you, Mark.
Check out TriStar, and Jana will talk to you personally. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.